Okay, this is a little explanation, or almost an invitation really, as so you can see maybe why is it that I have been banned from Budgen's salesy. Okay, well, let's give you the background. We went in, my wife and I, on Sunday to have a word with the human resources lady about the treatment of my mother-in-law. Okay, my wife's mother. And basically she was having her timetable changed at the last minute. No one was consulting her. Um, the human resources lady didn't like my direct approach. And let me just say, this was not rude, it wasn't offensive, it was direct. It was direct, and it was logical, and it was formal. I didn't swear, I didn't cause duress or harm. And it's also important, very pertinent to mention, that she didn't take this conversation, my wife and I and her, off the shop floor. Didn't happen. She chose, she made a decision to have this discussion on the shop floor. Okay, so customers, staff are all going to be privy to what's being said. Now, to cut a long story short, I've been barred. Okay, now the manager there has said, oh, he's barred, he's been along here before, been sounding off. The last time I went, my fiancée at the time was immensely ill, and rang to say she couldn't work. She was very ill, she was very sorry, and very rudely the manager, Nigel, said, oh, you've dropped us right in it again, God, gee, and hung up the phone on her, which I thought, to be quite honest, in a particular state at the time, being very ill, that's quite unkind, quite disrespectful, and quite nasty. So obviously at one point I went to the store and I said to him, excuse me, are you Nigel? Yeah. Well, look, let me just ask you a question. You were very disrespectful to my wife. Not my wife, she's my wife now, but you were very disrespectful to my girlfriend, fiance. There's no need to talk to people like that. If you want, if you know, at the end of the day, she was very ill, and I found it very offensive because I heard the conversation. Will you do me a favour, and will you please be a little bit more respectful to her? That is the lines. No aggression, no swearing, nothing. Um, and then he just ignored me, walked in the shop, locked the door behind him. So I knocked on the window, and said to him, and he came back thinking that I was going to be all like, you know, fisticuffs, come here, you know. And no, he opened the door, and I said, have a nice day, my friend. You know, have a nice day. Thanks very much for listening. That is the basis of which I've been barred. That, and I was very direct and honest, and basically told the human resources lady on Sunday about my mother-in-law. You're going to have to respect her. She's got a husband at home who's ill, you know, who's not very well. She needs to tend to him. You know about this. Oh, she's never come to talk to me about it. How am I supposed to know? Now, funnily enough, last year we wrote them a letter to Budgens documenting everything that had happened. Okay. Now the lady before, who was doing the human resources job, obviously didn't hand it over to the new one. Yet this is the reason that she's using. Oh, I didn't know. No one's spoken to me. No one said anything. But it's all been put into writing before. Okay. Now, essentially, my mother-in-law, as a 65-year-old pensioner, is expected to check the rota every single day to make sure on the next day that she's not just been penciled in without any consent. Okay, and I believe that people should consent to, if any, you know, you make plans. You put, something goes down on a rota on a Monday, say you're off on the Sunday, you plan something for the Sunday, all of a sudden you're going on the Friday or the Saturday, and suddenly your name's there, and then if you don't work it, you're in trouble. Okay, now this is apparently built into the what's it called, flexible Budgens contract, the flexible contract, which hints that it's flexible for both parties, which essentially it's not. It's flexible for Budgens, and that's about it, because they absolutely, and if you excuse the French, rape the hell out of their staff in that store. And if you ever walk in there, I think my mother-in-law is probably the only happy soul you'll ever meet. She's helped them out of a lot of trouble. But to bring it back down to brass tacks, I've been barred for going in and speaking my mind without swearing, without causing harm or duress. I may well have broadcasted, audibly, not shouting, that Budgens despicably, they treat their staff despicably, and they should be ashamed of themselves. We actually said it's not your problem, but this is the way the company's doing it, and we have a problem with the way the company is treating our mother, or my mother-in-law, or my fiance's mother. So we have an issue with that. We have a problem with that. Now, I'm barred now, so if I walk in there, essentially I'm going to get turfed out, and I may well do another video where I walk in, but essentially they're barring people out who come in and question or criticise the way that they do business, and if they're treating their staff with such a huge amount of disrespect, and someone merely goes in and directly says, I'm sorry, from now on you will treat this elderly lady, this pensioner, with some respect. Okay, you'll treat her with the respect that she's due. She's helped them out a lot in the past. So basically this is essentially saying to me, comment, if you work at Budgen's and you've been treated terribly, let me know about it. If you go into Budgen's and you've overheard or you know about the way that they do things and they're treating people badly, get in touch, let me know about it. I'm not happy to be barred or to be removed or potentially in the future removed from a property really just for speaking my mind, just because someone doesn't like what I have to say. Needless to say, it was not rude, not causing harm or duress, or wasn't prejudiced, it wasn't racist, it wasn't sexist, it wasn't ageist. It's the anti-ageism at the end of the day. I'm going in there telling them they need to be more mindful about the way they treat their staff, and they treat their staff terribly. So Budgen's, nice job. You know, Nigel, at the end of the day, if you're not intelligent enough to have a discussion, and to be fair, if you can't hire people who have an adequate understanding of human resources and the fact that in order for one person to be to understand something, maybe someone else needs to say something like, you know, hi there, yeah, I'm wondering if you could work on Sunday. I know you're not down. Yeah, that would be fine. Thank you. I understand what I should be doing now. Instead of psychically saying, I kind of want her to work on Sunday, but I don't want to ask her in case she's doing something. I know. I'll just put it down on the rotor and hope that she buys it. Not good, is it, Hand? Not going to happen. So bar me if you like, but you won't be able to stop me from making videos like this. And now I've made it a personal mission to take you guys down. So good luck. See you later.